The Miller Brewing Company of Milwaukee brings you all the action and excitement of football at its finest as the Detroit Lions meet the Cleveland Browns at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. This is Earl Gillespie inviting you to enjoy life with Miller High Life as our colored cameras bring you another football classic. The World's Championship of Professional Football matches the defending title holders, the Detroit Lions, winners of the National Football League's Western Division, against the Eastern Conference kingpins, the Cleveland Browns. December 26, 1954, is a surprisingly mild and sunny day as some 44,000 fans filed through the turnstiles of Cleveland's Municipal Stadium to witness football's World Series. The Lions are seeking an unprecedented third consecutive championship, while the Browns, who lost the 1952 and 1953 playoffs to Detroit, will be out to snap a two-year jinx. Season records of these two fine teams compare favorably, Detroit winning 9, losing 2, and tying 1, with Cleveland sporting a 9-3 log. Detroit will be banking on its ace quarterback, Bobby Lane, number 22. Lane, a standout performer in past championship games, plays at peak when the pressure is on. Number 37, Doak Walker, the Lions' leading scorer during the past season, is a threat in every offensive department. A spirit of friendly competition prevails as rival coaches Paul Brown and Buddy Parker shake hands. Otto Graham, for 9 seasons the spark plug of the Cleveland team, says he's playing his final game in a Browns uniform. Danny Lavelli, number 86, will be a prime target for the tosses of Otto the Arm. Big Horace Gillum, who averages better than 42 yards, will handle the Browns' punting. Referee Thomas Timlin issues pregame instructions to Detroit co-captains Thurman McGraw and Laverne Torgerson, and the Cleveland captain Don Colo. The Lions win the toss, and Detroit elects to receive. Cleveland will kick off and defend the goal on our left. The Browns, 2-point underdogs, receive a last-minute pep talk from Coach Paul Brown. The championship game gets underway as Big Lou Groza booms a long, high kickoff that carries to the Detroit goal line. Jack Christensen gathers it in and comes back to the Lions' 17-yard line. On Detroit's first play from scrimmage, rookie fullback Bill Bowman breaks into the Cleveland secondary, and he may go all the way. Defensive halfbacks Tom James and Warren Lyer finally haul Bowman down on the Cleveland 34 after a 50-yard advance. The Lions are stunned when Lou Carpenter drops a pitch out, and Cleveland's John Kissel recovers on the Detroit 36. Kissel takes off for the Lions' end zone, but the play is ruled dead at the point of the fumble recovery. A disappointed Bobby Lane comes out of the game as Detroit's defensive platoon takes over. Otto Graham, the Browns' passing master, fades the throw. Graham tosses, but the Lions' Joe Schmidt short-circuits the aerial, and Detroit is in business on the Cleveland 35. On first down, Bobby Lane fires a pass goalward. Dorn Dibble is open, gets his hands on the ball, but he cannot hold it, and it falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 for Detroit on the Cleveland 35. Lane lobs a screen pass to Lou Carpenter, but John Kissel pulls him down after a 2-yard gain. Cleveland coach Paul Brown, who has never defeated a Detroit team, shouts instructions from the sideline. And the Browns follow those instructions as they close in and drop Bobby Lane in the Cleveland 28. Facing a 4th and 3 situation, Detroit drops Doak Walker back for a 36-yard field goal attempt. Walker's placement is letter perfect, and the Lions lead 3-0. Big Jim Martin kicks off for Detroit. Billy Reynolds grabs the ball on the 14 and races through the middle. Reynolds goes 38 yards before Doak Walker nails him with a fine open field tackle. Detroit holds, but Coach Buddy Parker fidgets when a penalty for roughing the kicker gives Cleveland another chance. The Browns cash in on their opportunity as Otto Graham uncorks a beautiful toss. Speedy Ray Renfro sprints into the open and snares Graham's pass for a sensational 37-yard touchdown play. Cleveland now leads 6-3. Our Miller High Life slow motion camera gives us another look at that thrilling Cleveland score. Note the fine protection afforded passer Otto Graham. The arm winds up and there it goes. Ray Renfro races beyond two Detroit defenders, grabs the pass on the run, and the play spells touchdown Cleveland. Lou Groza, the Browns' peerless placement expert, who kicks conversions with monotonous regularity, adds the extra point, and Cleveland leads Detroit 7-3. The Browns' John Kissel gets set to go back in the game. It's Detroit's ball in its own 25. That's Bobby Lane looking for a receiver. Lane finds Gorn, gives him the clear, and hits him for a 16-yard advance. On a quick handoff, Punchy Hornsmeyer carries to the Lions' 44. Bobby Lane, attempting to pass, is driven for a 4-yard loss by Doug Atkins. It's 4th and 11 for Detroit, and Jug Girard stands deep in punt formation. Girard boots a beauty. Billy Reynolds calls for a fair catch on the Cleveland 23. There goes Graham back to pass. He's rushed but gets away from one Lion and another, then skips up the sideline before he is bumped out of bounds by 4 Detroit defenders. It's Graham back to throw again. Otto passes, but for the second time it's intercepted. Jack Christensen picks off this pass, but fumbles out of bounds on the Detroit 31. Cleveland and Danny Lavelli leaves the game as the Lions take over. It's 1st and 10 for Detroit. Lane passing, but the tables are turned as Cleveland's Don Pohl pilfers the pitch, and look at him go. Pohl makes it to the Detroit 8, and the Browns have another golden opportunity. Otto Graham, who failed in 2 previous championship games against Detroit to throw for a touchdown, connects here with Darrell Brewster for a second payoff pass of the day. Once again, the scoring action is highlighted by our High Life slow motion camera. Graham chucks through the middle to Brewster, cutting across. The big end is a picture of persistence as he fights into the end zone to give Cleveland a 13-3 advantage. With Tom James holding, Lou Groza converts and the Browns lead the Lions by a 14-3 score. Lion mascots console one another as their heroes trail. After the kickoff, Detroit is held in check and Jug Girard is forced to punt. Billy Reynolds fields the kick on the Cleveland 46, and the breakaway back dashes down the sideline in a dandy 43-yard return. Jug Girard, the last man between Reynolds and a touchdown, makes a shoot-top tackle on the Lion 13. Battering Maurice Bassett booms through the Lions line for a 10-yard pickup, and it's goal to go for Cleveland. But that's the end of the first period, with the Browns leading the Lions 14-3. Cleveland opens the second quarter by scoring again as Otto Graham spurts into the end zone for a touchdown. So far, Otto has had a hand in each of the 3 Cleveland counters. Once again, Lou Groza makes good the conversion attempt, and the score reads Cleveland 21, Detroit 3. Billy Reynolds, the boy who set up the last score, gets a well-deserved rest. The Lions put the ball in play from their own 20-yard line. Lou Carpenter tears over left tackle and breaks into the open. Carpenter carries 52 yards before Kenny Cons overtakes him on the Cleveland 28. Now the pressure is on the Browns. Bobby Lane dishes a delayed pitch out to Doak Walker, who turns the left flank for a first down on the Cleveland 14. Lane tries a similar play to the right side, but Bill Bowman is tossed for an 11-yard loss by linebacker Tommy Catlin. Otto Graham and company shout encouragement to their defensive teammates. On a 3rd and 9 situation, the Lions have to pass. Bobby Lane comes through in the clutch with a 19-yard heave to Dorn Dibble, who's down on the Browns 4. With goal to go, Lane pitches out to Billy Bowman, who shakes off 2 Cleveland tacklers, and over he goes to score for Detroit. The Lions were a great come-from-behind team all season, and maybe they'll do it now. Doak Walker lines up for the extra point attempt. It's good, making the score read Cleveland 21, Detroit 10. The Browns, after receiving the kickoff, are unable to move, and Horace Gillum goes back in deep punt formation. Gillum booms a towering kick in the Lion land, and Jug Gerard calls for a fair catch on the Detroit 17. Les Bigeman, 330-pound bulwark of Detroit's defensive brigade, who'll retire following this game, discusses strategy with the coaches. The Lions are trying to come from behind. Bobby Lane passes in the right flat to Luke Carpenter, and the play is good for 6 yards. Lane looks over the defense, then pitches out to Bill Bowman, who picks up 7 yards around the left side. Detroit is moving the ball. Luke Carpenter gets a handoff and carries to the Detroit 35. Watch this play closely. It appears that Bobby Lane is trying to pass. Lane takes too much time, and Cleveland tackle Mike McCormick is on top of him. McCormick knocks the ball out of Lane's hands and recovers it, giving Cleveland possession on the Detroit 27-yard line. The Browns, who have gotten the breaks and made the most of them, get another one here as Graham passes goalward. Karl Karlovich almost intercepts, but the ball bounces away from him, and Ray Renfro snatches it out of the air on the Detroit 7-yard line, where it'll be goal to go for Cleveland. It's 2nd down and 5 yards to go for a touchdown. Otto Graham calls the numbers. Graham swings out to the right. He's going to run, and he goes the distance as he leaps into the end zone with his 2nd score and the 4th Cleveland tally today. The Browns are a happy bunch. Let's take another look at that touchdown by Otto the Great Graham in slow motion. Otto outruns Detroit's Lou Creekmer. Maurice Bassett and Billy Reynolds double-team the Lions' Sherwin Gandy to clear a path for Graham, who vaults across for the score. In the extra point department, Lou Groza comes through with his 4th in a row, and the Browns enjoy a comfortable 28-10 spread over the Lions late in the 2nd quarter of this championship battle. Trailing by 3 touchdowns, the Lions really have the work cut out for themselves. Right to work they go on a lane pass to Jug Gerard that goes for 16 yards. Bobby Lane looks for a receiver. Lane throws to Doak Walker in the left flat, and the play net's 7 yards. Detroit has found the going plenty tough so far, and things get still more rugged when Lane's pass is grabbed off by the Browns' Walt Michaels, who carries 14 yards to the Detroit 31. A downhearted Doak Walker, along with other members of the Lion offensive alignment, walks slowly to the bench as again the Browns take over. And how those Browns take over. Otto Graham, who is making his final Cleveland appearance a memorable one, arches a perfect lead pass to Ray Renfro, makes a tremendous catch for another Cleveland touchdown. Graham and Renfro, who have teamed for 2 terrific touchdowns, are congratulated by their teammates. It's number 5 coming up for Lou Groza, and the toe does not disappoint as he boots the ball over the bar to give the underdog Browns a 35-10 lead. The Lions return the kickoff to their own 35-yard line, from which point Bobby Lane goes back to pass. Lane throws in the flat to Doak Walker. Our slow-motion camera picks up the dashing Doker as he crosses the midfield stripe. Walker is finally run out of bounds by Warren Lahr on the Cleveland 36. The Lions are fighting both Cleveland and the clock now, but there's just about 1 minute to play in the first half. Lane shoots a down-and-out strike to Jug Gerard, who runs into a stone wall in the form of Warren Lahr on the Browns 24. A touchdown here could mean a lot to these Lions. Lane, cool and calm, fires a bullseye to Jug Gerard, but Gerard fumbles the ball. Cleveland's Walt Michaels dives on the loose pigskin to snuff out the last ray of hope for a Detroit touchdown. Seconds later, the clock runs out, and the score at halftime in this thriller from Miller reads, Cleveland Browns 35, Detroit 10. The story of the first half is simple, just too much Otto Graham. The magnificent Cleveland field general ran for 2 and passed for 3 of the 5 Cleveland touchdowns. The Browns haven't won the championship since 1950, but as they await the start of the second half, they appear confident. Jim Martin kicks off for the Lions to begin the second half. Billy Reynolds takes the ball at the 10-yard line, and Reynolds returns 22 yards before the Lions can drag him down. That's Otto Graham directing the Cleveland offense. Graham hands off to his fullback Maurice Bassett, who cracks the line and gets 4 yards. Les Bigeman is the big man who stops Bassett. Graham goes to the air. Big Bassett is the receiver, and the pass picks up a first down on the Brown 44. Graham sets to throw again, but changes his mind and ducks to the line for a short gain. The Miller High Life sideline camera picks up Otto Graham as he fades deep and dodges the in-rushing Detroit lineman. Graham gets a pass off. Terrell Brewster makes a beautiful juggling catch to complete a 43-yard gain on the Lions 7. On the Detroit sideline, they're feeling mighty low. Otto Graham doesn't make the Lions feel any better as he shakes up Detroit and the goalpost with a sneak to the 1-yard line. Graham carries again on the quarterback sneak, and he's into the end zone with his 3rd touchdown for a new championship game record. Lou Groza, as good as gold, directs his 6th consecutive extra point through the uprights, giving Cleveland a stunning 42-10 bowl. On Detroit's second play following the kickoff, the Lions run into still more trouble as Lane's pass is pulled in by the Brown Ken Cons. Cons cruises to the Detroit 13 as the snowballing Browns roll on. Paul Brown, whose Brownies haven't missed playing in the championship game since they were organized in 1946, sends in a substitute with the play. Brown's choice proves a wise one. Rugged Curly Morrison races around right end and goes all the way as Cleveland pours it on. When Lou Groza makes it 7 for 7 in the conversion department, the Browns assume an insurmountable 49-10 margin. These are more points than have ever been scored against a Buddy Parker-coached Detroit team, and the hometown Cleveland Rooters just love it. Lou Groza makes ready to kick off for Cleveland. Lou's boot is a beauty, high and deep. It's taken by Jug Gerard on the 6th. Gerard dodges among the Browns and he brings the ball back to the 25-yard line where 5 burly Brownies converge upon him. Tom Dublinsky takes over the signal calling chores for Detroit, but Dublinsky has no more success than his predecessor, Bobby Lane. Rookie end Carlin Massey storms in and tosses Dublinsky for a 16-yard loss. Cleveland trainer Leo Murphy, along with Otto Graham and guard Abe Gibran, are really enjoying this game. Dublinsky makes up for that loss with an 18-yard completion to Jug Girard, but it's not enough for a first down as Warren Lard drives Girard out of bounds on the Detroit 27. The versatile Jug Girard goes back in punt formation for the Lions. Girard boots upfield. Ken Kahn picks up the bouncing ball but gets nowhere as Jim Dorn bulldogs him to the ground on the Cleveland 16. Curly Morrison, on the same play in which he scored earlier, gets loose for a 5-yard gain. Graham calls his own number as he moves back to pass. Otto's toss is deflected, but it's complete to Ray Renfro, who has dropped just a yard short of a first down. So Cleveland moves into punt formation. Horace Gillum gets the kick away. The ball bounds into Detroit territory. Jug Girard plays it safe and moves away from the bouncing ball, which rolls dead on the Lions' 28. Otto Graham, after 2 frustrating championship games with Detroit, is getting nothing but pleasure out of this battle. It's 1st and 10 for the Lions from their own 27. Dublinsky reverses to Lou Carpenter, who swings around left end, but he's stopped at the 30. For those who like their football rough and tough, watch this unusual shot as recorded by our Miller High Life sideline camera. Lou Carpenter grabs the pass and is hit hard by 3 bruising Browns. Carpenter comes back for more as he carries again and gets to the Detroit 36-yard line. Lou Carpenter, doing yeoman service for the Lions, fights the Browns for 5 more yards. Tom Dublinsky fakes a handoff and fades the pass, but finding his receivers covered, Dublinsky carries for another 5 yards. Bobby Lane comes in the quarterback and connects in a pass to Lou Carpenter, who legs it to the Cleveland 31. Lane sets to throw another. It's complete to Doak Walker. Udoka gets roughed up a little by 2 Cleveland defenders, and he doesn't like it at all. A flat pass from Bobby Lane to Lou Carpenter is good for a short gain as Carpenter tumbles to the turf. Bobby Lane fades a full 10 yards in this play before passing on a screen to Lou Carpenter. Carpenter grabs the toss and scurries to the Cleveland 12. Lane completes another toss as he shoots a spot pass to Jug Girard, who's nailed on the Browns' 6-yard line, where the 3rd period ends with the Cleveland Browns on top by an overwhelming 49-10 count. Coach Buddy Parker and his assistants are hoping for a touchdown to take some of the sting out of this hectic battle, but the Lions are stung again when Lane's pass is intercepted by Len Ford. Ford gathers momentum as he lumbers 55 yards before Bill Bowman catches him on the Detroit 45. Curly Morrison dents the Detroit defense for 3 yards. The Lions' Jim David dives on top of the pile, and Cleveland's Johnny Sandusky is none too happy with Mr. David. Paul Brown, still using his shuttle system for calling signals, sends guard Harold Bradley into the game, and out comes number 65, Charlie Noel. Brown's strategy calls for Curly Morrison to carry the ball, but Morrison fumbles and Jerry Perry recovers for the Lions. With the ball changing hands, Bobby Lane receives instructions from Coach Buddy Parker before going back into action. Lane is going to pass. It's deflected by Johnny Kissel and intercepted by Kenny Cons. Cons returns 12 yards to the Detroit 39. On the sideline, the Browns show nothing but smiling faces. There's just no stopping the Cleveland attack as Chet the Jet Hanulak cracks through the Detroit line for 23 fast yards. The drive stays alive as Billy Reynolds bulls his way to the Detroit 10. Rookie back Hanulak blasts his way into the end zone as the Browns hang up their 8th touchdown. The 55 points Cleveland has scored so far is the second highest ever in a championship game. Lou Groza writes another title game record with his 8th extra point, and the Browns are home free by an unbelievable 56-10 score. After the kickoff, it's Detroit's ball in its own 25. Lane deposits a pass into the arms of Dorndibble. That's good for 16 yards. Still giving it all they've got, Detroit receives another rude jolt when for the 6th time a Cleveland interception turns the tide. Len Ford grabs this toss and the Browns take over. Number 16, quarterback George Radaman, gets the go-ahead from Paul Brown, and a tremendous roar goes up from the crowd as Otto Graham, for the last time, leads the field. Graham ran for 3 and passed for 3 more touchdowns, ending a brilliant career with an unparalleled performance. Otto established 3 championship game records and said, "That's the way to quit, go out on top." Radaman runs the clock out as Cleveland drubs Detroit 56-10. The Lions fail in their bid to become the first team to win a 3rd consecutive title. Paul Brown, who prepared his squad superbly for this game, said, "On any given day, this was the greatest team I've ever seen." Paced by Otto Graham, their victory over Detroit gives Cleveland the 1954 Pro Football Championship. And that's it, fans. The rip-roaring, unbelievable climax to another exciting season of professional football. We've just witnessed the crowning of a new champion. And your friendly hosts have been that national champion of quality, Miller High Life. And so until next we meet, this is Earl Gillespie saying goodbye and good luck, and reminding you that it's always a grand idea to enjoy life with Miller High Life, the genuine Milwaukee beer.